handle domestic transportation management. So basically, when you think about all the aspects of freight, you know the rule in logistics: the longer you hang on to the freight, or the more times you touch it, the more money you make. And that's as rudimentary as it gets. And what happens is that when it starts from the port of entry, so the drayage to our custom bonded up facilities that we operate, once we handle and deconsolidate and transload freight in our facilities, then it's either being delivered via final mile. That's something that's obviously we're developing, or it's being transported inland to an inland point via intermodal freight, which basically means combination of truck and railways. And it's very important, and what makes us a very leading provider of those services is that about 50% of all freight that arrives through the ports into the United States gets delivered locally or gets picked up locally through the final mile solutions. About the remainder 50% needs to travel somewhere inland. So if it goes through the port of LA, it has to go to Cincinnati, Cleveland, Ohio, Kansas City, etc. And you need to do that economically, and you have to transport it in bond. So you have to have the special licenses, you have to know how to handle it, you have to have access to the railways. And if you want to deal with the railways, for those of you who have experience, you need to have volume to get the schedule, and you cannot get the schedule unless you have the volume. And over the years, we have built a FedEx or UPS-like capabilities and sort of a network side on transporting freight via what we call IPI network, which is Inland Point Intermodal, which basically means that we can very economically, cheaply take from New York or LA to anywhere in the United States. And imagine very much the same way that if you wanted to ship something via courier or via FedEx, you'd have to get to that local depot by, let's say, 7 p.m. because at 7:45 the plane takes off to Memphis, and then it gets to the hub and spread around and gets to the destination point. We have a train schedule that leaves our core gateway locations every day. So our clients have the peace of mind that the freight can get there in the shortest and the most economical way possible. And we are now the only operator of such solution in our industry today, which gives us an enormous competitive advantage, as well as the fact it provides a very fundamental barrier to scale. There's no barriers to entry in our industry, but there's a tremendous barrier of scale, and it's cost prohibitive. It's impossible to replicate what we have built over the last